Good evening, everyone. After a barnstorming race last night, the Tier 1 drivers take a back seat as the Tier 2 drivers for Season 23 will be starting their first round in earnest in less than 13 seconds time. It's Invictus Racing League, it's Season 23, and we're live with action from the 15 drivers in for this evening. I'm Jack TM53, your temporary commentator for this evening. I'm delighted to say that alongside me in the commentary box and throughout Season 23 for Tier 2 is the Season 21 champion, Björn de Boer. Björn, how are you?
Well, I'm doing great. I'm glad I've still got the champion title, although Sydney is now the reigning Tier 1 champion. Thank you very much, Jack. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. You know, I think it's a good omen from last night, really. The action that you were involved in with loads of fights going on, plenty of overtakes, and that bodes well for the Tier 2 drivers because they typically put on a show. Sometimes they can be a little bit more frenetic than the Tier 1 drivers, but I think we're in a good place this evening. And we've got a bunch of returning drivers who we haven't seen for a while, which will be really, really fascinating to see how they get on. But before we start, Björn, what do you make of this circuit? What would you say are the key things to keep an eye out for? How would you set the car up? What are your thoughts on Shanghai as a whole? That looks very overcast.
I was gonna say, and it even looks a little bit wet in the pit lane, but I wonder if tires will actually feel that. To answer your question though, well, I'm gonna give a very boring answer, like every week. Tire wear. Every single week it is so crucial that you can watch for your tires and keep them alive and quick for as long as possible. But there are quite a few technical portions on this track. Think of turn 1 to 4 and basically the whole sector 2. Those are very heavy for your tires, so you need to watch your tire temps to keep the wear down. But also there's this massive straight at the end of the lap, so you can't go too high downforce, not too big, because otherwise you'll just lose all your work you've gained in sector 1 and 2 on the straight.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's going to be important setup round here, making sure that the car is configured for all possible eventualities. Oh, Stephen, the first driver for this 2026 year, out on circuit for Tier 2. He's got War Islander just behind him. I just want to make a quick shout out to the War Islander. First time we've seen him in a long, long time with Invictus Racing League in the Racing Bull. Really good to have him back in the championship. It's going to be fascinating to see how he does. A couple of other drivers as well returning. Ronanosaurus, we haven't seen him properly really since Season 20, maybe even towards the end of Season 19 when he was fighting for the Tier 3 championship back then. And Callum as well. Callum 23, he's got 4814, but we're going to abbreviate that to just Callum. Also in the Racing Bull. He's had a couple of races with IRL, but he's now back in for a full-time seat. Ginger Tiger, as always, out on a different compound of tyres during the first phase of qualifying. And I'm going to say this to you, Björn. Looking at the drivers in the field, is Ginger Tiger a pre-season favourite for Season 23? I know it's very early to make predictions, but showed a lot of good speed last season, has always typically been very fast. Is this his year?
Well, you've got a point. I'm looking at the 15 drivers we have so far. The only real contender I'm seeing is Clips Kiryu. Ginger Tiger was always up there for sure last season, so we might have a good contender picked out already. But I know you won't like what I'm about to ask you. But what are your predictions?
I think that the two Ferrari guys, Lionel Greavesby, Mikey RK13, those that were watching last season, you'll remember these two were in the Saubers last season. They scored 1 point effectively between the two of them, and that came from Lionel Greavesby. So I'm expecting points from them this season. That's my prediction. In terms of drivers who I think could fight it out for the championship, Ginger Tiger I've already mentioned. Nitric Ash, let's not forget, another really good driver. I think Aston Martin have got a very strong pairing for season 23. I'm also looking as well at Ronanosaurus, someone who we know has got speed from past history. We haven't seen him on this game yet, so that could be a little bit different. And expect a couple of surprises, whether that's from O'Stephen, War Islander, Maras, who she was commentating with me last night. We know very quick over one lap pace. So I'm expecting a few surprises today. And I really want to see someone win that we've not seen before. That's what I'd really like. But at the minute, O'Stephen first across the line, 35.6, but War Islander with a 33.2. That's a competitive effort.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's pretty close. Well, pretty close. I'd say for these cars, it's pretty close to the current track record on this track set by Michael Schumacher in 2004. He's second off with his time being a 1:33.2, like you said, and Schumacher's time a 1:32.2. But with the 2025 cars and still the same identical track, I'd say that's a pretty good effort for him, as both the V-carbs are now 1-2 as it stands.
Yeah, Callum with a solid effort there to just sit on the front row of the grid with War Islander, just looking around the rest of the track. One of the Aston Martins, it's Ginger Tiger coming towards the final corner. 16 corners, of course, in Shanghai to navigate, and Ginger goes through the last of those nice and neat out of the corner. He's run out a little bit of battery at the end, but he does a 34.0. That's encouraging lap on the board, especially on the medium tyres. We expect the tyre offset between the medium and the softs, and Björn can correct me if I'm wrong there. It's about 6 to maybe even 6/10 to about a second.
Yeah, I'd say you're right. And well, given the weather circumstance, as there's a Ferrari wide at turn 7.
I think that's Mikey who's gone for a trip off the road and another spin as he tries to get back in a straight line. Come on, Mikey. Director of IRL playing in the grass already.
Well, it seems like we're back in the Saubers for so far, at least for Mikey. As I was saying, with the current weather conditions, as I'm being interrupted by another yellow flag, but I think that's just someone getting out of the way, the mediums will have a tougher time getting up to temperature. So in the actual race, or I must say, with these circumstances, I think Ginger Tiger did an even better job than it might look like by the timing board.
Well, let's see. What about Clips Kerry? That's 5th on his flying effort. Obviously, the first lap's still coming in. We're yet to see lap times from It's the Cat, Ronan, Mikey, who goes around again, pirouetting at turn 14, almost collides with one of the Aston Martins. He's just trying to move out of the way. So Spud also on an outlap as well, but Ronanosaurus is on a flying lap at the minute, just coming through the first sequence of corners. What would you say, Björn, is probably the hardest corner on this circuit? Not just in terms of grip, but tyre wear. What do you think, what corner takes the most punishment?
Oh, well, I think turns 1 to turn 4, I mean, you can gain so much time if you just sacrifice the tires, but it will cost you so much wear that in the race it will never be worth it unless there's a late safety car. But yeah, the corner, I don't think we have it anywhere else on the Formula 1 calendar. It's so unique, and honestly it's one of my favorite set of corners on the calendar. But yeah, that has to be my answer.
Well, I will take that answer and I'll happily run with it. Ronan, though, on a lap at the minute. He's just coming around the banked corner at 13. He's got a McLaren just up in front of him. I'm going to say that's IRC Bruce, who's on the 4th row of the grid with a 35.1 as he flies towards the braking zone, down through the gears for the Alpine. Of course, these are the 25 cars, so the Alpine running the Renault engine, but with us running an equal performance league, we don't have to worry about that sort of thing. They're all in pretty much the exact same car, just the engine sounds are slightly different. But Ronan's going to come across the line to do a 35.4, sticks him in the top 10, a thousandth of a second behind the Ferrari of Lionel Griesby.
so early in the season, and we're already seeing so much competition.
It is already going down quite well. I'm looking at Stephen. Is he on a flying lap? He is, but I don't think he's got much in the way of battery left, and he's going to go way too deep at 14. Trying to find a driver for you to follow, to be honest with you, Björn. At the minute, I'm looking at, I think our current pole sitter would be the driver to take here in first place. Yeah, he's coming around turn 14 now, so I'll let you take it away.
Right, thank you. So, into turn 16, and the start of lap we go. DRS opens about 20 kilometers extra for the main straight into turn 1. You just want to lift off the throttle, tap a little bit of throttle, and tap a little bit of brakes to keep the balance. Into turn 3. Now this is a tricky corner. You really want to get a good exit and maintain grip, as the V-carb does by short shifting up. Now into turn 5 and the big braking zone of turn 6. Careful not to lock your tires, and again a little bit of a wobble on the exit. Now into turn 7. Very technical part of this track, quite satisfying if you can nail it right. Bit of bumps here and there for now, and short shift again up to 4th gear to maintain the grip on this cool track. Now entering sector 3. Our V-carb driver is up 3/10 as it stands, and we're going on to the big main straight, which is equivalent to 11 football pitches long side to side, or 3.5 aircraft carriers. DRS opens, top speed, well, I don't know what it is in miles per hour, but we're hitting almost 340 kilometers per hour into the last hard braking zone. Down into 2nd gear, you want to nail the apex, go on the curbs, and again, War Islander keeps the grip in for his car into the last turn. Be careful of track limits there and the curb, you can get stuck on it, but this will result in a 32.8 is our new fastest time. And we'll go across the line as well. Does not beat Nitro Gas's time. Says a 33.8.
Yeah, Nitro's just going onto a lap now at the moment. He's probably thinking, what do I need to do to try and combat against that, really? I think he's got 8 attempts to find. Not impossible around here, but it's going to have to be nice and neat, and especially very tidy. I just want to watch his sector time as he comes towards the first couple of corners here, as he breaks into sector 2, and he is about a quarter of a 1.5 tenths up at the minute, so not too bad. Whether he can sustain that all the way through is going to be another matter, but Ginger Tiger, I don't know if you've just seen, Björn, has gone up to 2nd, so that's a good effort from him.
Yeah, Ginger Tiger, it's a very good effort. He set the fastest sector too. First time in this session we had a purple sector for someone who's not on pole. So Ginger Tiger will be challenging for pole for this last run, and Nitrogas will also be challenging for pole in this last run if he can improve another lap after this one, because I just missed it how much he was up. I think it was 2/10.
Yeah.
Which will get him close to his teammate.
I've got to say, at the moment, one thing I'm going to just make a point, actually, and it's what I was going to say, is that yes, War Islander at the moment is quite far clear, but we've seen this in IRL before, where drivers can be electrically fast in qualifying, but then come the race, doesn't quite go to plan, and Nitro moves himself up to this front row of the grid in 2nd, and that's not too far away. You're looking at about 4/10 of a second, which is possible to find around this circuit. But the 2 Aston Martins and the 2 Racing Bulls are in a really good position. And can I make a point here? Sir Spud is in 6th place. It's the Cat is in 5th. Those 2 are having a fabulous qualifying so far. Really great to see them up there. And that is truly encouraging to see those 2 at the minute in the top. I was just about to say in the top 6, but Clips has decided to spoil that party, and he moves to the second row of the grid in 4th.
Yeah, it's not something we've seen last season. And as you say that, well, the last few races of last season, both McLarens were up there during qualifying and in the race as well. But right now, 10th and 11th, they've done better.
They have. They have, and it isn't over yet. And I think for those guys, they will probably be thinking about race pace more than anything at the moment. They're not a million miles away from the top 5. I think they're only about a second away. Actually, yeah, less than a second away from Clips Curry. So it's very compact from 5th down to Ronan, who's in 13th place. So there's quite a lot of opportunities for drivers to make their way through. And Ronan was even saying his aspect ratio was completely out. That's why he struggled. So more time to come from the Alpine down there. Just looking as well, Stephen's gone up to 4th. And you might remember, Björn, at the start of last season at Bahrain, Stephen finished a very comfortable 3rd place. Can he do it again?
Yeah. Well, I'll be hoping for the Mercedes that he can do it again. It was a fantastic opener for him. I mean, throughout last season, except for Bahrain, we haven't really seen the consistency from, well, both Mercedes actually, but of course we have a different pair now. But yeah, Stephen is up there, and we definitely know he can do it. So it will be an exciting last few minutes of qualifying.
Yeah, less than 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go. It's the Cat on an outlap, as is Bruce Liner Griesby, just coming out of turn 14. He's about to go on a lap. Ronan not improving. I think he's backed off, so he's going to try and go again. So it'll be Liner Griesby to set the first of the last flying set of laps. He goes and starts his lap time now as he approaches turn 1. Another driver who's going to be encouraged at the minute, though, Björn, is DJ Madman. You know, he's 9th at the moment in qualifying. His best finish last season was 8th at the final round of the season at Singapore. So already looking quite positive for him.
Yeah, we are seeing a completely different grid or grid order, I must say, from last season. I just want to say, the Alpine of Ronan, he was going onto a lap, but in the last turn invalidated, and well, the FIA decided, well, you've gained too much of an advantage, we're going to invalidate your next lap as well. So I wonder how this will affect his performance for the final run.
Yeah, does he have
to do an extra outlap?
Yeah, does he have enough fuel? Is what I'm wondering for the Alpine driver. Liner Griesby, though, he's up on his lap at the moment, just shy of 8 tenths clear. It would bring him into the 34s quite comfortably. He'd be just on the back of the McLaren IRC duo. But Liner Griesby firing now towards turn 14. Critical braking zone here. Has to brake somewhere between now and there at the 100-metre marker. He does get it stopped. Can he get a nice traction zone out of the corner? He can do. No real dramas for him. He's just got to use a little bit of battery now. Bring it home. A little bit of a tighter line out the final corner. That's going to cost him a little bit. But Liner Griesby into the top 10. That is encouraging for the Ferrari driver. That is what you'd be looking for at this point in qualifying. It's the Cat, though. He's going to be the next driver to come along. Let's see where It's the Cat could go. Let's not forget, best qualifying position last year. 6th on the grid. He's going to improve on that. That's a storming effort from the Alpine. Up to 4th. What a lap time.
That came from Noah. We were talking about unusual people at the top, but I was not expecting this far up the top. But we must hold our celebrations because we still have a lot of people who are on a lap and still have to start a lap.
Yeah, plenty of people now, aren't there? All out on track trying to find a lap time. I'm just following War Islander at the minute. Who's he got in front of him? I think that's Ronan in front of him. And if that is the case, he's too close to him. He's not going to be able to make any improvements unless Ronan has got an absolute bullet train of a car in front of him. Oh, War Islander's... Oh, wow, that was a big save.
How did he keep that? And he did not lose that much time from it by the looks of it. But keep in mind, Ronan might be Well, holding up War Islander, but he's not obliged to move out of the way because he is on his
No.
own hard lap.
He is on his own lap, and just looking at his time as he comes towards sector 2, yeah, he's absolutely flying. He's 8 tenths up in the Alpine, so that's going to be a bit more representative from him. First car to come towards the start-finish line, though, it's going to be one of either the Racing Bulls or the Red Bull. I'm just looking to see. I think it's Sir Spud. Yes, it will be. So Sir Spud banging down the gears now into that hairpin right-hander just there. Looks neat and tidy from the outside, but can Sir Spud do something quite impressive and get himself even higher up in qualifying? We wait and see. He goes to 8th. A little bit of an improvement from him. Who is next across the line? Going to say it's a Ronin up to 11th. That'll be the Aston Martin of Ginger. Doesn't improve. Madman up to 8th. That's a good effort. Nitrogash doesn't improve either. The War Islanders in the pits. I'm just looking to find out. It's one of the McLarens coming up. That's Bruce into 10th. Where is Jordan out of the final corner in that McLaren? Does he move up? He does into 12th. Mikey next up, trying to get close to the back of the field. And he doesn't improve on his time. So that comes down to O'Stephen up to 4th. So that is a very competitive qualifying session. That is tightened up quite a treat towards the end.
Yeah, well, O'Stephen is, after all, up there into 4th. A very nice qualifying. Fortunately for the Aston Martins, no one could beat War Islander as he aborted his lap. Interestingly enough, though, at the back, Maris has not set a time, and I can't figure out the reason why.
I wonder if it's because she's reserved this evening and she's decided I'm just going to start from the back in the Haas. She's the only one in that car. But let's just have a quick run through the qualifying situation. War Islander on pole with Nitrogash in second. Ginger and O'Stephen on row 2 with It's the Cat and Callum on row 3. Clips and Madman on row 4 with Sir Spud and IRC Bruce rounding out the top 10. Lionel Griesby and JPH are 11th and 12th with Ronan Asaurus and Mikey RK in 13th and 14th places. Maras not setting a qualifying time, but I think that would be the case as to why she wanted to do that. So Spud saying lost 3 tenths with a little mistake would have put him inside the top 10. I think it would have put him in 10th place, actually.
I wonder if that is at the exit of turn 4, because I know from experience, unfortunately, that if you make a tiny mistake there, it will cost you your lap.
Yeah, it certainly will around that corner. But today, I think it's going to be a fascinating race. You know, China's not a place that we've raced around in IRL for quite a number of seasons now. Last time we did was season 20, when it was we only had one tier running in the championship. We were in the doldrums at that point. But it was OZ Typhon who won the race on that day. And of course, last night we had Jeremy Clarkson take the Tier 1 victory. Björn, I think indirectly every single week we're going to have the opportunity to talk about your race. Obviously, when ARL is fully here, you two will be able to chat about your woes in the races. But how was it for you last night? And what sort of, in terms of a a setup would be wrong. In terms of tyre strategy, what would you be thinking about doing here at this point?
Well, I can't give us like an example that I would usually do because, well, last night I had a bit of technical difficulties during my first stint. That I was so slower than normal that I was actually saving my tires a lot during the first stint. So I had no trouble with tire wear at all. Because, well, the second stint, the safety car came out, so we had a free pit stop. But as usual, the one stop is quicker, but it's super hard to do, blah de blah de blah. But yeah, I think the real difference for the strategy to pick right now is which compound are you going to start on, the hards or the mediums? I think that's the real question here. And I honestly don't know how to answer it. I think it's down to personal preference because, yeah, I mean, is your first or second stint going to be better?
I think
you know, Jack?
Yeah, I think from what we were debating yesterday was that the medium tyres were going off at around about lap 8. But those that were running the hard tyres in the second stint, and then obviously the safety car came out, so it scuppered those chances. But the hard tyres would last that long. I think that we will see drivers in Tier 2 pit a little bit earlier than what we saw yesterday. We saw a couple of them from Tier 1 on the mediums pitting at lap 11, lap 12. I could see a few drivers today pitting earlier than that. If it was me, if I was out there racing, which I might be able to do this season, which would be great for me, I think I prefer to start on the harder compound tyre just because I like running with heavier fuel, with the way that the tyre wear works on this game. But that's more of a personal preference, kind of like what you've just said, Björn. So I fit with me. I'd go hards, but I don't think either strategy has too many big drawbacks.
Yeah, I think the real difference, if you really want to start in the mediums, is your initial start, your grip off the line. I think Jeremy Clarkson takes advantage of that almost every week. We know he has really good starts. And of course your first 2 laps, but after that you won't really be able to make a big difference on just your tires. We'll see what everyone has picked.
Yeah, I was just about to say, in terms of the tyre strategy, you've got in the top 5, you've got War Islander, O'Stephen and It's the Cat on hard Whitewall Pirelli compound tyres. The only other driver in the top 10 who's also on the hards is Madman in 8th place. The 2 Aston Martins and Callum and Clips, they're on the mediums, as is the Spud, and I think Bruce has made contact with something. That's why he's back at the start. Liner Griesby, JPH, they're on the mediums. Ronan, Mikey and Maras at the back. They're all on the hard compound tyre. I just want to say, for It's the Cat, this is a position of unknowing, really, for him, because best grid position last season, 6th at Las Vegas. Had 2 8th place finishes, but looking really competitive tonight. And if he can just hang on in the early phases, try not to let Callum or Clips past, or if he does, try not to lose too much time fighting them, he's got a good chance at a really good result today. Maybe even bettering what he was able to do in season 22.
Yeah, well, we know It's the Cat can definitely get a good result. I mean, last season in the Haas, it looked like he was cursed almost sometimes.
Yeah.
How unlucky he got almost every week. But let's hope for him that he can finally get a good result that he deserves.
Yeah, I definitely think so. He's a driver. Again, we talk a lot about in IRL about the improvement that drivers make over the course of spending years with the league, and he is another example of that. When he first joined a couple of seasons ago, he was near the back of the grid, but now he's fighting up in top 10s more consistently. You're looking at Spud for the same thing as well. Liner Griesby's another one who's moving forward. So, just keep an eye on the improvement that you can have. We did briefly just have the tyre strategies come up. They're saying a 1-stop. We think that's going to be the main strategy today. But before Maras pulls into position, Björn, your prediction of a race winner, and you haven't got much time to say no either.
Ginger Tiger.
There we go. There we go. So, Maras is in position. Mikey just pulling into his box and has got it wrong. So, we've got 15 cars ready for the first round of Season 23 in Tier 2. The red lights come on now. And the race is live from Shanghai. Looks like a good start from the front row for Nitrogash. He's going to be on the inside approaching turn 1, and he's going to be clean on through. That is the advantage of using the softer compound. We're almost 3 wide as Callum, O'Stephen and Clips all go fighting, banging wheels together through those first sequence of corners. O'Stephen's on the inside of the curb. He's just about managed to stick himself out of trouble, but Clips is going to go up into 5th place. That's a really good start for the Red Bull driver as Cat goes down to 7th. Madman's hold position, but he's going to have the McLaren alongside him into the next braking zone, and he's just about managed to survive it. And then it's the Cat's actually fallen down. He's just trying to keep out of trouble. Clips is fighting O'Stephen for 5th place as these go through turns 7, 8, 9 and 10 in just a moment's time. But the Mercedes together on circuit, but Nitrogash making a cracking start, and Björn, he's pulling away already.
Yeah, Nitrogas has a comfortable lead of 1.4 seconds that will give him a good... Wow, I need to reform that sentence. The War Islanders not in DRS is what I was trying to come across for the message. But Sir Spud and Jordan had contact at the exit of turn 5. The weird little kink to the right on the main straight. Very unnecessary contact, but I wonder if one of them has damage. As Ginger Tiger goes up to P2 into turn 14. And yes, he will manage to keep P2. There seems to be more grip on the outside than the inside for turn 14. Both Aston Martins leading the race.
Yeah, that's what we saw last night. There's a lot more traction available on off that corner because the corner isn't shortened up. And it's getting worse for War Islander because here comes Callum into turn 1. They're giving each other a lot of racing room, but Callum is going to go through. So our pole sitter drops from 1st to 4th. Clips just accidentally runs into the back of the Racing Bull. No harm done. And again, for good measure, on the exit of turns 3 and 4, but actually gets the traction wrong as Stephen trying to find a way through. But all together at the moment as Mikey goes round at turn 3. I have a feeling for Mikey this might be a long evening for him. But as you said, Björn, the 2 Aston Martins at the front. And I think with Nitro's position, what does Ginger do? Does he try and get away from DRS? He's trying. It's just whether he can pull it off is another matter.
Yeah, well, I wonder what team game the Aston Martins will play. We know from last season that we can say not if they will play the team game, it's just which one. Will Ginger Tiger just act as a buffer between the V-Carbs and P1, or will he try and actually help? They will try and help each other. Also, I think War Islanders' poor first lap might have to do with the hard tires not getting up to temperature.
Yeah, it's just it takes a couple of laps, but the hards will start firing up in a few corners time. You'll start to see the Racing Bull fight back as it's the Cat and Sir Spud are side by side, and I think it's the Cat is going to retain that position as Nitrogas sets a new fastest lap, and then Callum decides otherwise. Callum very close to the back end of Ginger Tiger. He's going to go to the inside at turn 1, and that is move completed. Ginger not fighting that one too hard. But now we're into the very interesting part of the race here because strategy and battery management are going to be key from this point forward.
Yeah, as Callum has a little bit of a wobble exiting turn 4, I just want to talk about our initial start. I was just focusing on Callum. He was very smart into turn 1, 2 and 3. Everyone was keeping a high speed but running a little bit wide. Callum just lifted off the throttle more and took that inside, and because of that he is now from P6 all the way up to P2.
Yeah, really solid start. I was just, whilst you were talking, Björn, JPH and Spud having a really nice fight on the exit of turn 6, but Jordan in the end getting that move made. And is that Bruce on the inside? He is trying to go past Madman, but they're going to make a little bit of contact and arguably drop themselves off the back of that pack, and Bruce will move to 7th. I think Madman's going to have DRS though to try and strike back at the McLaren. Here we go, DRS will be wide open. Just looking at further up the field, doesn't look like there's any moves, but Madman will make this overtake on the McLaren, will he? Oh, he's gone very deep as the McLaren, and I tell you what, Madman, makes a bit of contact. He didn't mean to do that, and I think it's the Cat's going to get him as well. And sadly for Madman, he loses a spot after looking like he was going to go through.
The hard tires of Warner seems to have warmed up because he has regained his 1 second loss to the drivers in front of him. He's now right back behind his teammate. He's overtaken Ginger Tiger on the main straight, and we'll see what the V-Carbs will do in terms of strategy with each other.
Do you think they'll be talking?
I think so. I think they'll probably be on the same channel.
I think Callum is really struggling actually in these opening few laps because Nitro's nearly 3 seconds to the good here. And I think War Islander, wants to get on with it. I think you can see visibly he's losing time, corner through corner. It's now over 3 seconds. So I think the call is going to come from team base to say, get out of the way. because you're costing War Islander a possible opportunity at a race win here, because Nitro is clearing off up the road.
Yeah, I wonder what the issue is, because he had some pace in the first 2 laps. Yeah, well, I think War Islander will get past here pretty easily with the DRS, but it's strange. I'm not sure what to say.
Well, his teammate moves through, so War Islander is into second place. The number 25 gets there. I'm just wondering if Callum's tyres, as It's the Cat, drops down a few more places. Not quite sure what's happened to him. But for Callum, I wonder if he's just used up his tyres very early on, because it's not impossible for drivers to do that. He was attacking really hard at the start, but it just looks like he's struggling with front end. Just doesn't want to turn in at all, and he doesn't want to stick to the road either. Oh, yeah, Ginger's struggling as well.
Yeah, I wonder what the track temperature is actually. I think we might have a little bit of a tire situation here, because, well, at the start it was the hards that warming up, assumedly, and now the mediums might be overheating. So, or I'm of course completely wrong. Also an option.
Well, it's been my days. I'm watching Ginger Tiger clips. Oh, Stephen, Bruce, and Madman. Actually, there's quite a queue of cars down to Sir Spud now, all just struggling on Steven? Those. Oh, Stephen, yeah, there he goes down the inside. That's and yeah, that's a shame. What did you see of that, Björn? Because our camera just kind of cut away at a bad time.
Yeah, I was on board with O'Steven. It was a move. I feel like O'Steven deserved this space, and Red Bull just kind of turned in.
Whoa! Someone turn on the afterburners as Madman powers on past IRC Bruce for 7th place. I mean, that was turbo speed in action right there. Absolutely brilliant. Whilst I was watching that, Ginger Tiger's got past Callum, but I think Callum, is he going to be able to strike back? He's got DRS, he's got the battery. He should be able to find a way through on the inside before turn 1, and through he goes. But War Islander now 2 seconds clear, and this is looking like a 2-horse race at the front.
Yeah, well, I must say the gap between War Islander and Nitrogas was 3 seconds just a lap ago, if I'm correct. So War Islander is gaining massively. Also, go on.
JPH almost running into the back of Madman at turn 6. I don't think he meant to do that. And is Sir Spud trying to go around the outside at 7? That'd be brave. He's still there. But Bruce is able to box him out of the way. So the McLaren will retain 9th place for now. But that was nice and feisty from Sir Spud there as Bruce goes off the road. Everyone who's on the mediums, Björn, is really struggling. I said earlier that we'd expect to see a couple of cars pitting earlier in this race, and we're on lap 6, but the mediums in tier 2 just not working at all.
Yeah, you're completely right. Jordan is struggling a lot for sector 2, almost having oversteer every corner. But I was gonna say, everyone on the mediums is struggling, it feels like, except for Clips Kiri. As far as I'm seeing, he's doing completely fine so far. I mean, sure, he's not the quickest at the moment, but he's not having any troubles with stability or anything. So I think times like these are just when I wish we could just ask the drivers mid-race. You know, we could just hop on the radio and ask, what is the problem? Could you tell us?
So Spud's having a very fruitful race. He's got past one McLaren on that lap, but Jordan's not giving up any room. They're going to be on the outside for turn 3 and 4, and so Spuds gets into 8th place. So the Red Bull getting his elbows out, gets into position. He's got to defend this corner though at turn 6. Jordan very close to the back of him. Can he do an undercut? He's not quite close enough. But I'll tell you who is close enough. War Islander in prime position to go past Nitrogash here. But this is the thing in this race, Björn. We saw it yesterday. The undercut around here is exceptionally strong as O'Steven goes around the outside at turn 9. What a move!
Oh my word.
And Madman's following him through, so the two Mercs on the hard tyres are coming alive.
Yeah, beautiful teamwork by them, and I wonder, as Warlander will get past Nitrogas before the DRS even opens for the V-Carb into the lead. Warlander goes. As we have another yellow flag for Mikey, unfortunately. Oh, Warlander goes very deep on the brakes. Nitrogas cannot. Well, can he? Well, I thought they were going side by side there for the last turn, but yeah, I have no clue what the medium runners are gonna do to fix this problem. So it's gonna be an exciting one.
Well, Clips is pitting actually. Nitro's trying to go around the outside at turns 1 and 2, but I think even his tyres aren't giving up the go. In fact, both Red Bulls in the pits at the same time. Are they double stacking? Can Clips get out of the pits in time? A little delay for Spud, but nothing too dramatic. Might have lost the second, but this is now the phase of the race where those that are doing the undercut, they're going to be in a great position. Can the hard tyres last 20 laps, Björn? No, that's a question that's just popped into my mind.
No, I don't think so.
Are they committing to a 2-stop then?
I don't see any other solution unless you want to go back to 2018 to the older compounds and just grab that from the back storage room. But yeah.
Get the super hard out.
Exactly.
Well, at the minute, we've got Callum leading a train of cars. We've got a yellow flag for... Is that Maras who's gone... Yeah, gone round, actually. She's got it pointing in a straight line again, so no real drama. Well done to Nitrogash. He's kept on to the back of War Islander. He's just going to try and stick with... Oh, there's a McLaren round! That's Bruce! No, it's not. It's Jordan who's gone round. In fact, my apologies on that one, but Jordan going around at turn 13 as Callum fights with Ginger Tiger into 14. Oof, that is... Oh, Callum just has no grip, and there's contact between himself and O'Stephen on the exit of that corner. And I don't think O'Stephen's going to be too impressed with what he's just seen, but it is getting feisty, and O'Stephen could sniff an opportunity. Callum's going to try and look at the outside at turn 1. He's going to fully commit, but that's not going to work. He opens the door for the Mercedes to go through. Oh, there's contact again, and this time Callum can try and sneak back on the inside. At 3, they're still squabbling over position, but surely O'Stephen is going to have the traction off the corner and the better tyres at this point in the race. He's on the inside line. They're not giving each other racing room, and Callum's going to go off the road. Oh, he's just about kept it on, and now Madman tries to find a way through, but can't. Over to you, Pierre.
That looked like I was watching a cat and mouse game through the first sector. Also, I'm noticing that every single car there between this 4 battle had so many. As Mikey is there parked on the apex, just saying hello to the leaders.
You better get moving because he could get disqualified there.
Oh yeah, you're right.
He has got going.
He's stuck. Oh, okay. Yeah, everyone is having a lot of trouble with their tires and their stability as Steven right behind Ginger Tiger. He is looking for that podium position.
Here he goes. The Mercedes on the inside line, braking at the 100-metre marker. There's not much Ginger can do, but he's been hit by Callum, who's broken his front wing with that contact. Oh, that's... I'm going to be honest, that's getting a little bit personal between those two. Now, Callum into the pits. He's going to have to change that front wing end plate because that will massively cost him around this circuit. I was getting a little too personal, that for me, Björn. I think there was some heated exchanges going on. There's a line of Greasby pits too.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the watching the stream back to see, because I just missed it. But yeah, I agree with you. I'm sure the stewards will have a look at that one after the race.
Yeah, they absolutely will. Clips moves into 10th place. So Clips, of course, in a lot of clean air, fresh tyres on, will be able to attack the hard tyres as well. So we'll have to wait and see what the Red Bull's progress is. If I look at his gap to the guys at the front, he's 20 seconds, actually less than 20 seconds behind O'Stephen. So he's going to be in a net 3rd place as it stands.
Yeah, I think now the hard tires will be struggling soon as well. I'm impressed by both of the Astons again, with how long they've managed to stay out and keep up a decent pace.
Yeah, they're doing a solid job, but War Islander now is just driving away at the moment. Ginger's doing what he can to try and hang on, but here comes Madman like a freight train. And it's the Cat's recovered well from his difficult start. That's a big lock up from the Mercedes into turn 14, but gets it stopped and will move into fourth. And that's Nitro in the pit. So one of the first front runners, and it's a double stack for Aston Martin.
Interesting.
Just have to wait and see. Is Bruce close enough to the Cat? No. Nitro's in. He should be clear enough of... Yeah, that'll be a straightforward stop for Aston Martin. That'll be a happy Adrian Newey getting that team serviced and sorted out. Clips is going to go comfortably past Ginger Tiger, though. This is the guy to watch. Clips is in a really good place at the minute. He's having a fantastic time out there as Mikey's had another wobble. It's just going from bad to worse for the director of IRL, unfortunately.
Well, yeah. I mean, not Mikey, not Will, yeah, but that was towards Clip Scary. You gotta keep in mind that he is on a two-stop.
Yeah.
As opposed to, well, I'm assume as opposed to the Aston Martins. So I think that will be a good comparison towards the end of the race to see how that have worked out.
Yeah, it will be fascinating to see what the progress is. Mikey has retired in the pits. I'm not surprised. I think Mikey's just had a struggle out there today. So the Ferrari into the garage, but it's War Islander leading from O'Stephen and Madman. Then it's the Cat who is still on those hard tires. Bruce is doing a very solid job on those mediums, as is JPH for that matter. But it's the Cat. This is a chance for third place, but he's not quite close enough to the back of Aaron to make a lunge. And in fact, I think he got it a little bit wrong there because Bruce is alongside him into the final corner. Puts the Alpine slightly offline. And Bruce is, I've got to say, Björn, Bruce is doing a really good job here on those mediums, fighting with this group. He's keeping himself in contention for an outside top 4 result, top 5 result even.
Yeah, especially Bruce doing a phenomenal job, but both McLarens have put up a great fight so far this race. Like we said in qualifying, they are just focused on the race pace and not really bothered by qualifying that much. So I'm really impressed, yeah.
Can you see the data at the moment between Clips Kiri's lap times and the War Islander by any chance?
Yeah, I'll take a look. Just give me a few seconds.
I'll give you a moment as Ginger Tiger goes past Maras, who's fighting with Lionel Griesby, and Lionel Griesby's just going to move himself into a point position for Ferrari. Take a picture as Ronan now moves into 5th place. So Ronan's come up quite strong as this race has gone on. He had a very anonymous start, I have to be brutally honest, but he is now there as well. So the Alpines and the Mercedes now in the box position they need to be in to give themselves a fighting chance later in the race. But they've still got to take those tyres quite a long way. Looking at Nitrogash putting a move on Jordan there for 7th place. So Nitro moves through. Jordan won't fight that one. He's on a completely different strategy. But Nitro looks like, to me, he's closing the gap. But we're yet to get full data on what his lap times are as Bruce finally pits.
Yes. Seems like Clips Scary is gaining about 2/10 a lap on the Islander, which well, it's not enough.
No.
Nobody is gaining enough time to actually have a good chance for a successful undercut here.
Nitro's just done a lap time just then. From what I could see, Nitro is 24 seconds behind the War Islander, and he's just gained a little bit more in those last few corners. I think he's going to come out in front of the War Islander, but of course the tyre offset will make a huge difference.
Yeah, I can tell you Warlander will be pitting soon because his excuse me, his lap time just dropped another second, or I should gain another second. Yeah, and Nitrogash, let's see here, Nitrogash is gaining, yeah, he's gaining more than a second now a lap, so, but yeah, the tire offset is still big, I think. Let's just say Warlander will go 1 or 2 laps more. He'll get out in front, yeah, probably, but it won't be worth it for long.
Ooh, that all went a little bit wrong for Alpine. Ronan got past It's the Cat, and then It's the Cat backed off to let him through, but then missed his braking zone and almost ran into the... Well, almost had a Hail Mary of an accident, really, between the two Alpines, which Briatore wouldn't have been too impressed by, but thankfully they survive. But Ronan now into 4th position. Clips goes past Jordan, who is now into the pit lane. So if we have a look at that gap, Nitro now 22.5 seconds behind the race leader. The big question is whether if Clips does get in front of War Islander, how long can he hold him up for? Not that he will willingly do that for Nitrogash, but it will play a significant outcome in the race.
Yeah, it is now, the gap is now 22 seconds between Nitrogash and War Islander. And it's coming down quick. 2 seconds gained last lap, so...
Yeah, that's a huge, that's a sizable amount of advantage. I'm just looking at the rest of the drivers out there. So we're looking at about 24 seconds for a pit stop, roughly 24, 25, depending on how you get into the pits and how you get out. You can gain a lot of time in the pits, of course, because of the way that the unique layout of that pit entry is. But O'Stevens 12.6 seconds behind. If you take his pit stop, he's going to, in theory, emerge behind line of Griesby, but in front of Callum when he makes his pit stop. That gives you context of how wrong Callum's race has gone, actually, since his pit stop. He's down in 11th and behind line of Griesby, which... Praise the line of Griesby, of course, but something hasn't gone quite well for Callum. We're not sure what, as Ronan now tries to make an attempt on the back of DJ Madman, but he's not got enough battery really to go with him. Who's that round?
Warner!
He's gone off! Shocking!
At the exit of turn 4, that's the tricky exit I was talking about earlier in this race. Oh no, well that has thrown out all of the calculations we just made, Jack, out of the window, because this is that's no longer relevant.
Wow, look at the timing tower just dropping down now. We'll wait for Clips to go through. You'll get a real update of where everybody actually is. So War Islander now is going to come out behind Sir Spud potentially, which will drop him behind, well, both Red Bulls. And now the race is really opened up for Nitrogash. He is sitting pretty, and I'm trying to think back to when Nitrogash's last race victory was. It's been some time, but this would be a great story if he can hang on.
Yeah, definitely will. I'm kinda baffled. I don't really know what to say. I'm assuming he's gonna box this lap now to get rid of those tires. Does he have any damage? Can you see it, Jack?
I didn't see anything. When I cut to on board with him, he was on the inside of the track on the grass as Ronan goes up to 3rd. And yeah, into the pits he goes. So let's follow him as he does that and just see whether or not he has to get a front wing change. I don't think he will, to be honest. Happy to be proven wrong. Into the pits he goes as O'Steven now takes the lead of the race. Cube copy of Bahrain last season. No issues there. He's just going to get a new set of mediums and off he goes.
Interesting.
Well, he's going to come out behind. Yeah, there you go. Like I said before, behind Sir Spud, and he's just looking at the gap. What's the gap between himself and Nitro? It's 10.6 seconds. And he also has to get past Sir Spud and Clips Kerry, because whilst we predict they might have to make a pit stop again, he's got to overtake them on track, and they will work together.
Yeah, okay, whoa. Also, the mediums at the end. Okay, this has just thrown out the whole race scenario out of the window. We've got a completely new scenario.
What have you got?
I'm still figuring it out, to be honest, mate.
Well, I'm just having a quick bit of analysis from what I can see. It's been a long time since we last saw Nitrogash at the top of the table. But right now, he's going to overtake Ronan with no dramas whatsoever. He goes blasting past the Alpine into second position. Ronan will just do well to try and stick with him into DRS for the next part of the race. That's really going to be the big element that he's focusing on right now. And that's Sir Spud going past his teammate for 4th place. And War Islanders stuck behind the two of them. He's going to have a good traction zone now. Off 14, he's got to try and be brave around the outside. This is critical for the race. And Sir Spud keeps hold of the position. And then Clips is going into the pit. So you were right, Björn. They have made another stop. And Sir Spud's got DRS, so the War Islander can't find a way through. Unless Spud runs too wide. Oh, War Islanders trying to keep it on the track, but the Red Bull is going to be a big pain in the backside. And why would you blame him? He's having a great race.
Yeah, and there will be no team orders between Red Bull and VCarb in this league for sure. Now, can he get past? Ah, he can get past. He is past Sir Spud. Well, Sir Spud, you have done a phenomenal job for the last few corners. You might have made a real difference in the race actually there. Wow.
Well, the gap is 8.7 seconds on lap 17. We've got 11 to go. Now, we know that the medium tyre will struggle towards the end of this race. We know that the hard will, considering how long Nitro's been on it for, unless he decides...
Oh! Callum and O'Steven, they've made contact. Callum is in the wall, and O'Steven has damage. Will there be safety car? Yes, it will be.
It's a VSC, isn't it? Now, Callum's got that car facing in the right direction. He's going to have to pit, of course, and get a completely new front wing. You're in this position right now, okay? Nitrogash coming towards the pit lane. He carries on, but this is a massive boon for Ronan because he's getting a free pit stop.
Yeah, I think Nitro should have pitted. Well, it depends though. Where goes on.
I think, yeah, maybe Nitro's done the right thing there. It'll just help save his tyres and War Islanders for that matter. So this is going to currently puts Sir Spud in 3rd place. Ginger's moved up to... Lion of Greasby's in 5th place. Take a picture.
Oh my god.
IRC Bruce is in 6th, but he's fighting with O'Steven. Did you say O'Steven had damage?
I mean,
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he's missing an end plate because, yeah. So what happened at the exit of turn 4, Callum was just a little bit slow. Steven just pitted for new tires. Each one gonna move on, and yeah, the exit was contact, and Callum spins into the wall. So I wouldn't be surprised if the stewards will look at that one as well. Yeah, it was the right decision to stay out for Nitrogash. My apologies, I thought it was a full course safety car in my head, but it wasn't. Yeah, 10 laps to go, and a lot will happen at the end. Let's just say that.
War Islander is absolutely ripping time out of the race leader at the moment. Those new medium tyres are going to be electric over the next 4 or 5 laps. But after that point, as we saw earlier in the race, the Racing Bulls mediums will start to fall away a little bit as Maras goes around for a jolly. And that's O'Steven up past IRC Bruce for 6th place. Watch out for O'Steven. He's got some pace in that Mercedes. He's bounced around up and down a few times despite his front wing damage. So he is one to keep an eye out on. So Spud's running in 3rd. I mean, this opening race from Tier 1 and Tier 2 is throwing up uncalculated proportions. No one saw what happened yesterday to happen, and it's the same tonight. I've just been doing some analysis on Nitro. You have to go back a long time since he last won a race, a proper main race that is. Last season he finished 3rd in Spain. That was his only podium of the season. And right now, I'll be honest with you, I am rooting for him because he is a driver who puts a lot of effort in and has had such bad luck over the last few seasons, and admittedly was in the wrong tier a few seasons ago, which we all admitted to. This would be a well-deserved win, but he's got to absolutely push himself to the limit because War Islander is coming.
Yeah, I also think Rodriguez needs to keep his calm as well, not to get too nervous seeing that timing drop because, well, he is coming, but for how long can he keep that pace up with the mediums? Saying that, as you were talking, well, Steven set the fastest lap with a broken front wing. Now I wonder,
yeah.
I wonder if his top speed actually increased because his end plate is gone.
He did have DRS on Bruce on that lap, who he's not been able to drop. So Maris is having some really big issues at turns 7 and 8. I'm not quite sure. I wonder if Maris has got rear wing damage, because that's a few times I've seen her car go off there. Lionel Griesby in the pit, so he was two-stopping, as it turns out, which should indicate that Ginger Tiger perhaps will pit, and that would also indicate, and as much as the gods would love a Nitrogas victory, my goodness me, I think the whole of IRL would break if Sir Spud got a podium. That would be the most celebrated result in history if that were to happen. So this is all up in the air. We cannot tell you what's going to happen here. Bruce won't pit again. That is what I can say for sure. He's going to run those hard tyres to the end, and they will make it that far. Ronan is unlikely to pit again, but he's benefited massively from the safety car. And Callum has now just set the fastest lap of the race. So all you need now is a safety car, Björn, and it'll put everything back on its head again.
Yeah, well, I can understand now why you don't like doing predictions. Just to come back to you, Maris does not have any damage to her cars, although she has just pitted now.
That's an odd one.
Yeah, it might be one to ask after the race, because, well...
I wonder if she's hitting the curb on the inside at 7. Because that is possible, and the car will spin on there. Because of the way that the force unloads on the curb, because it's leaning more on the right-hand side. I wonder if she's just clipping the curb and it's spitting around.
Yeah, well, I think that's one that we'll have to ask her after the race.
Yeah. We absolutely will. War Island are now less than 2 seconds behind Nitro, but I will say that the progress it's still there. The gap is still coming down, but I don't think that War Islander is catching as quickly. So I think the raw pace of the Yellow Wall Pirelli has started to fall away a little bit. Still got the advantage at this stage, but it's not as prominent now. So Spud and Ginger Tiger are still there in 3rd and 4th. If Sir Spud is the tyre whisperer this season, if he can make a hard tyre last 20 laps, we'll make Björn eat his car seat. Then there's Ginger, and then there's Steve. You predicted earlier that the hards can't do 20 laps.
That's true. I didn't know there were any, consequences involved with that. But... Ooh, I think Warlander just missed out on DRS.
Let's have a look. It's close, isn't it? Let's see as we come towards the start.
Oh, he has it.
Yeah, he's got it.
Thought he didn't. Well, he's too far away. I have to have a little bit of patience.
Now we move into the second phase of the race. Catching is one thing, but overtaking is quite another. Now, whilst War Islander will have the benefit of DRS, the other thing is that Nitro, we know as a hardy customer, won't make this easy, but War Islander, here he comes to the inside at turn 1, and that's a move completed. That has almost surprised me, ladies and gentlemen, but he goes into the lead of the race again. And now it's on Nitro to stick with him, wait for those medium tyres to start to fall away again, and then go after him.
Well, the gap is already 7/10. I think. I think it might get tough for Nitrogas to. He's gotta like keep a gap of maximum 3 seconds.
Yeah.
At this point in the race, to have a chance. So it's gonna be difficult, but I'm surprised Nitro barely put up a fight. Could
Mm.
have defended the inside into turn 1, but
I wonder if Nitro, and I've deliberately not been saying anybody's battery situation, but I wonder if he didn't have enough really to try and fend him off with.
yeah, that's also a factor.
That's the only suspicion that I have at the moment. But the gap out to 1.4 seconds at the moment. So we saw yesterday the Tier 1 drivers, they got to about lap 8 before the tyres started to struggle. So we're in the ballpark. We'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep a vested interest on it. Ginger Tiger's within a second, I think, of Sir Spud at the detection point. It's very close. We'll see the rear wing pop open if it is, and it is. So Ginger now looking towards a podium. Are they both really going to try and hang on to these tyres? Because I know Nitro's committed at this point. He's not going to pit, but I mean, yeah, maybe Ginger's going to have to stay out there because he dropped to 11th place if he pitted now. So I suppose these two are in it for the long haul.
And what about Sir Spud? I mean, he loves to take risks.
He does.
And well, we can also say last season none of them paid off in his favor. But this, I've been deliberately also not been saying this, but if Sir Spud were to pit right now, he would come out in P11 behind Lionel Greaseby, but in front of It's the Cat. Now, I do not want to jinx it, ladies and gentlemen, but that would mean Sir Spud would get points even if he does have to pit again.
Yeah. That was something we talked about last season, wasn't it? How much he was so close to getting a point scoring finish, and right now he's fighting for a podium. I mean, just take that into effect. Just listen to the words that I've just said. So Spud in season 22 did not score a single point. He is fighting with 5 laps to go for a podium. I mean, this is. There are so many candidates for driver of the day right now. But he would be a worthy winner, even if he doesn't finish in 3rd place. I mean, he's going to be up against it, I have to say. Ginger's 7/10 away, and using an absolute bucket ton of ERS. Here he comes, and that's a move complete for the Aston Martin. Into 3rd he goes.
Yeah, no point in putting up a challenge there against the Aston Martin. Well, we just talked a little bit about driver of the day. Who would you pick as it stands?
I mean, you're looking at War Islander and you're looking at Sir Spud, aren't you, at the moment? Nitro's in a contention for that, but I think his tyres are a bit too far gone, actually. I thought the hards would come back towards the mediums, but I think he's too far away now, even if it does happen. As my screen decides to flick over to something completely different. That's always ideal when that happens. Ronan's had a good race, made good advantage of that VSC earlier in 6th position. Madman on for his best results, I think, of all time in IRL, actually, in 8th place. So he's doing a good job. And Clips has been... There's been a couple of drivers, Clips and Callum, something has happened in the second half of this race. Maybe they were on the wrong side of the VSC, but it just hasn't played out in the way that I was expecting it for them to go. And also the fact that they've done a double stop, haven't they? And that's going to, if you look at the stop situation, you know, clearly the one stop was the way to go.
Yeah.
I think it's between the War Islander and Sir Spud, I think, at the moment. But actually, you know what? No, because War Islander spun, he should be miles up the road. So right now, it's going to Sir Spud.
Yeah. And I was also thinking about O'Steven.
Yeah, another good race.
Yeah. Well, we still have a few minutes to go. And a lot can still happen. I mean, some people might be in puncher range soon, or already are. We don't know. Sir Spud has gained a little bit of time on Ginger Tiger.
Yeah, he's sticking with him. There's a nice fight for the bottom spot in the top 10 between Lionel Greaseby and Jordan, but Lionel Greaseby just moves into 10th place, so he's going to score some points in the first round of the season. So that means that the duo of Sauber now Ferrari team. They're going to not have to wait so long to get their first points of the season. Oh, massive snap of oversteer for the Ferrari on the exit of turn 3 and 4 there. So Spud's just hanging on to DRS. That's what he has to do, isn't it, really? If he can just hold on, he'll give himself a fighting chance. And the other thing that'll benefit him is if Ronan and O'Stephen start getting into one another. Because if he can't hold on for a podium, then he might benefit from these two having a good odd scrap.
Yeah. I think she spotted the DRS there.
I think he was just out.
Oh. Well, I guess twice, and twice I'm wrong. It's the top 3, after all of this, the top 3 are exactly the same as we start on lap 1.
Well, that's impressive.
Yeah,
O'Stephen defending from Ronan there into turn 14. O'Stephen having to save a little bit of battery as they come off 14. So Ronan's going to have an opportunity with the DRS wide open as line agrees being Jordan fight into turn 14. Is Ronan close enough to the inside at turn 1? He's not going to be silly enough to try that one. Put Jordan and Griesby are, though, down into 14. They give each other enough racing room. These two know each other quite well, to be fair. But Jordan right now in front. And here comes the DRS. Oh, the McLaren's got DRS, actually. And he will take the position right back from the Ferrari.
Well, they were going like quite close wheel by wheel, to be fair. So
I think Sir Spud's tyres are falling off a cliff. I think it very much reminds me of Raikkonen from his Lotus Renault days. And he had a race where he was fighting off Jenson Button and a whole load of cars, and then eventually his tyres literally went off the cliff, and that was it for him. And I feel that Sir Spud's speed is being zapped by the drivers behind. But again, 3 laps to go, and Ronan's got a chance to try and get past the Mercedes for 5th here.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're definitely talking to the wrong person for me to understand that reference.
You have to go many.
Still, learning how to stand up properly.
Yeah,
it's an interesting fight here, though, between the 4, 5, and 6. I mean,
yeah,
2 laps to go. I mean, Sir Spud, he can hang on to DRS. He can still make a difference there.
Yeah, he can. You know, you're not wrong. He absolutely can make this hard. And the thing for Spud and O'Stephen is that these two were teammates a number of seasons back. You know, they know how to race one another. They're both prime examples of drivers who've improved as the seasons have gone on, but they are probably now in the same position in terms of, well, not quite the same position, but they're both going to have absolutely god-awful tyre wear, I think, at this point in the race, because Stephen's got 10-lap-old tyres, Ronan's on 9, and Sir Spud he's got to be near puncture territory, hasn't he? How is he hanging on?
Yeah, I mean, I know that I was on 16-lap-old parts, and mine were, what, 65-70%. And as like I said before, I was saving my tires massively at the start. I know, for example, my brother Milo, he had way higher wear. Has he got a puncture?
I don't know. I think he just pulled out of the way.
Oh, this might be DRS games, but that's not very legal, is it?
Well, if it is DRS games, and I mean this in the... Is that a
no,
I think
puncture.
Yeah, puncture, front left. Oh no, Sir Spud. He pulled out. He got to put. I've got to say, it's just great race awareness from Spud, because he knew he had the puncture. He got right out of the way as Ronan and O'Stephen now scrap over 4th place. But unfortunately for Spud, it's going to drop him. He's going to stay in the points. He's going to end up in 11th, I think. And he went. He's carrying on. He's carrying on.
No, this is better. Oh my, this is the correct decision as well, I think.
He's going on to the final lap of the race. He's 13 seconds clear a line of Griesby. Is it going to be worth it? Every single right-hander he goes round, his car's not going to comply. He gets right out of the way of Bruce. He's not going to bother holding him up, nor is he going to hold Madman up, I don't think. whilst that's going on, there's still a great fight going on for 4th position. And War Islander is not far away from a race-winning return with IRL.
Oh my god. Serious Spud is just thinking, okay, I took such a massive risk already, I might as well take another one. He's going all in.
He is going all in. He's going to get out of the way of Clips. He moves out of the way of his teammate. I don't think this was the right call, if I'm being honest. I think I think it was worth a punt, but I don't know if it was. We'll have to wait and see. But War Islander, he's coming out of turn 14, and he's going to take a brilliant victory. What a drive from War Islander. It's his first win on return to IRL. Nitrogash, his best result in a long, long time. Beautiful performance from Nitro today to take second. Oh, Stephen and Ronan. Ronan's going to try and go underneath. Can he get the traction down? He can't. It's going to be Ginger Tiger, providing he doesn't have any issues into the final corner. No, he doesn't. He will get third. Oh, Stephen is just going to take fourth from Ronan. Bruce in sixth. Madman seventh. Where's Spud? Is he going to do it? I think he's going to do it. Yeah, he is. He's going so slow, but he's going to make it to 9th place. Unbelievable. Sir Spud. He doesn't have a point in a whole of season 22. He decides I'm going to get a point with a puncture. I'm in shock. It's the cat gets a point.
Something like this.
No.
Oh my god.
Callum takes 13th. YB Maras, she's going to finish in 14th. She had a few problems today. But let's not detract. That was a really great race to watch. There was so many different people trying different strategies. I think on the balance of play, so Spud, I can't give him driver of the day for that, but I can give him bravest driver of the day to try and take those tyres as far as he did. Björn, you don't have to eat your cockpit because the tyres didn't last 20 laps as it turned out.
Well, I'm very glad. Well, I mean, I got a win-win. Hey, Sir Spud still got points.
He did.
And I don't have to eat my seat, so...
No. I mean, that was a really fantastic race to watch, and that was so much fun to see all the drivers fighting out so hard. There is our race winner. His return to IRL is a winning one. It is the War Islander. It's a 2-3 for Aston Martin now. That is a strong driver lineup. Nitrogash in front of Ginger Tiger, who was getting caught up in the end, was Ginger by both O'Stephen and Ronan. So that's a plot point to watch out for as the season develops on. The drivers spraying the champagne. Fastest lap went to Callum in the end. Driver of the day going to Ronan according to the game, and cleanest driver going to Ginger Tiger. Ronan also put the most overtakes on. But just a quick result of the provisional result, or rather the quick overview of the provisional results. The top three I've already mentioned, with War Islander taking his first win of the season and in IRL for quite some time. Nitro and Ginger in second and third. O'Stephen and Ronan in fourth and fifth. Great result for McLaren with IRC Bruce in sixth, with Clips in seventh. Madman getting his best result in IRL in eighth. So Spud, what a drive for that. Puncture in ninth. Jordan beats Lionel Griesby in the fight for the top 10 with It's the Cat scoring the final point. Callum and Maras finishing the race in the end, but Mikey RK13, the only retirement, he had quite a few issues. But Björn, I'm sad. It's the, ARL gets to come back to all of this from next week on. He's going to enjoy all this with you, and I'm not going to see that.
Well, maybe you'll be on the track.
Maybe I will.
Then you'll enjoy it in a different way, and we can talk about you. Maybe spinning a few times.
Probably more than likely would be the case. Yeah, I think that would be. What would you? I mean, two things I'm going to ask from you, Björn. First of all, what was your favourite battle on the track today? And secondly, who, after all of that, who would you give your drive of the day to?
Well, my favourite battle. It's a shame I can't remember with who it was exactly. But remember when I said it was like watching a cat and mouse game through turn 1 and 4? I think that battle between, I think it was, Stephen was in there for sure, I believe, but Please correct me if I'm wrong, but definitely that battle. And my driver of the day will also go to Steve, I think he did a phenomenal job. With that front wing damage, of course, you have to remember. But they did have a collision, so the stewards might look at it. But for now, I'll give it to Steven.
I think from my perspective, I would give. I think my favourite battle was probably in the opening laps, actually, when everyone was jockeying for the race lead, whether it was Nitro, whether it was Ginger, the War Islander, whether it was Callum or anything along those lines. You know, those guys had a really good fight. I really liked Jordan and Lionel Griesby's fight for 10th place. That was good fun. That was great. I think my driver of the day, as much as I would love to give it to Sir Spud, I can't because he got a puncture. Yeah, you know, he did his best to try and take him. If he'd have made it to the end, then yeah, you're looking at it. I think with War Islander, he was so fast, even with that spin. You'd have to give it to him. You know, I think his performance today was earth-shatteringly brilliant. But of course, you know, whilst he might be very quick around here, you never know next week when we head off to our second round of the season, which for those people out there who have completely forgotten what the calendar is, just to make you aware, we are at the Hungaroring. It might be a different circumstance for him. It might not be as quick. So don't just assume that he is too quick for Tier 2 as of yet. We'll have to wait and see. But I think my driver of the day would be War Islander, with Nitrogash a very close second.
I think that's a very fair show.
Yeah. But have you got anything else you want to say, Björn, before we finish up for tonight?
Well, I'm just looking at the calendar because shame on me, I haven't seen it yet. We've got Spielberg reversed.
Yeah.
If you don't want to watch that, then I don't want to be friends with you. So you better subscribe and come back next week and in 2 weeks. That's what I want to say. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're going to have an amazing calendar. Hungaroring, we've never done Austria reverse. That's going to be carnage. Spa-Francorchamps, Austin, Losail in Qatar, Baku, and then Silverstone to round out the season. ARL will be back next week to do commentary alongside Björn. I'd like to say thank you very much, Björn, for joining me tonight. It has been a pleasure as always.
Yeah, of course. It's been a pleasure to sit alongside you once again. I'll be ashamed that I won't have that privilege anymore.
Well, it would be a shame for me as well. But from myself, Jack TM53, and Björn, thank you very much for watching Tier 2 this evening. We will be back next Monday with Tier 1 action from the Hungaroring. I'm sure we'll have another blistering pair of races. But if you haven't already done so, please make sure you subscribe to the Invictus Racing League YouTube channel. Come and join us on Discord for all of the fun and games where we all have a good natter about things. And wherever you might be in the big wide world, have a good one. And we'll see you next week for round 2 of season 23.